I'd like to see Benavidez fight Munguia. I think that was a much better fight.
Do you think he beats Gvozdyk? Because Gvozdyk is rated number 5.
Benavidez, who's, this next big superstar.
Gvozdyk gave a better fight than any of them. He's in the same stable as Usyk, Lomachenko and Barinchik.
I think they've made a mistake picking Gvozdyk.
I agree with you. He's not a name now.
Yeah.
He was a name.
It's a tough fight for both of them, I think.
I think Benavidez is going to win on points.
I think Gvozdyk knocks him out in the 11.
Welcome back to BoxCast. Today we're going to preview the upcoming fight on June the 15th between David Benavidez and Oleksandr Gvozdyk. This is on the undercard of the Tank Davis and Frank Martin fight, which hopefully we'll have the video up before this one. And yeah, I think this is, as we've said on the previous video, a build-up of the prime pay-per-view, at least in the States. And Benavidez trying to get into somewhere where he can win. He's stepping out of super middleweight, stepping up to light heavyweight.
Debut at light heavyweight, eh?
Yeah. And Gvozdyk was the world champion at light heavyweight and he's gone. So I'll start with the tail of the tape and we'll do. So Benavidez, as we said, was a super middleweight, is moving up to light heavyweight. He's got 28 fights, 28 wins. He's 24 of those by KO. With an 86% KO percentage. He's 27. He's 6'1", which is 185 centimeters, 76-inch reach, 193 centimeters. It's orthodox stance usually, and this is like a 175 pound. So it's approximately 80 kilos, 79.5 I think, or 4 kilos division. As he's stepping up, we don't really know what weight he's going to be at this, but usually he's a biggish guy. He was a huge super middleweight. So, and Gvozdyk is 37. He's had 21 fights, of which he's won 20. He had one loss where he was stopped by Artur Beterbiev, like everybody else is stopped by Artur Beterbiev. He's 6'2", 188 centimeters. He's 75.6-inch reach, 192 centimeters. So in terms of height and reach, they're pretty similar. Obviously, Gvozdyk is the older man by 10 years. And he's won 16 of his 20 fights by KO, so 80% KO percentage. So they're pretty similar on that. Obviously, Gvozdyk's had, I think, a bit longer amateur career. So that's why he's had less fights. And then he stopped sort of after the shock of getting beaten by Beterbiev. He is sort of ranked in the lightweight division as well. I think he's second by WBC. Light heavyweight. Second by WBC, 5 by IBF, and 7 by Ring. Although we can have a look at rankings in a bit. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this fight? Interesting fight. The first light heavyweight fight for Mr. Benavidez. First of all, what do you think about him stepping up? Is that just because he can't get the fight against Canelo? So he needs to?
No, I don't think he can make super middleweight.
Yeah, he's
a big lad, isn't he?
Yeah. So he's going up to his more natural weight, you think?
Yeah.
And second one, do you feel a bit sorry for him because you've got Canelo at super middleweight and you got Beterbiev and Bivol at the... Although he's got age on his side, Bivol and Beterbiev at the light heavyweight.
If you want to be the best in the world, you've got to beat the best in the world. Plain and simple. And that's you don't become the best by beating no box.
You can't say
don't get me wrong, he's had a good. He's beat good super middleweights. Terrell, Lemieux, Andre, Caleb Plant.
Well, he's got Demetrius Andrade in the last one. Caleb Plant before David Lemieux.
I don't think he was ever going to get the Canelo fight.
Well, there's some talk of it, but obviously Canelo's put like $200 million purse or $1 million purse on it, isn't it? So
it just reminds me a little bit of Carl Froch, Joe Calzaghe.
Mm-hmm.
When Calzaghe's coming to the end of his career and Carl Froch is a young up and coming lion, mate. And Canelo makes no bones about it now. He fights for the money. Yeah, he fights prestige
Well,
as
he's
well.
fought everybody.
He's not he doesn't gain a lot from beating.
Well, there's nothing in it for him beating Benavidez or fighting Benavidez. The only thing he's got is to lose. So the only thing he's making is money. So to be fair, I don't disagree with his position.
I'd like to see
boxing point of view, like a boxing connoisseurs or whatever we are, fans. You want to see the fight because obviously it's an intriguing fight, and and Canelo can be beaten. We have seen bigger, reachier fighters have done. Whether Benavidez has enough to beat him, we don't know. But at super middleweight, it's hard to see Canelo get beat.
I'd like to see Benavidez fight Munguia.
Yeah,
I think that was a much better fight.
Yeah, I think they should have fought and then had the fight. The winner that fights from Canelo.
I thought that was a great fight, to be honest. But it's not to be. He's moved up to light heavyweight. Stacked division.
Yeah.
Stacked from top.
Well, it's stacked just by British fighters. Forget about the rest, isn't it?
The top.
Should we go through
the top 10?
Shall I read out a list? So current ranked on this site, but you could put either. So there's obviously Dimitri Bivol and Beterbiev.
Yeah, you can't split them.
Yeah. Then Joshua Boazzi, Callum Smith, Anthony Yard, the others one you can go down. The Dan Aziz.
Not anymore.
Lyndon Arthur has gone down a bit, but who's the guy we watched we watched another one. There's about 4, isn't it? The British fighters.
Anthony Yard, isn't there?
Hutchison, yeah. Well, he was in the last fight we've said, isn't it? So you've got 4 of the British ones.
Do you know what?
And then outside of them, you've still got a few.
Benavidez is going to have to fight one of them British fellas.
Yeah. Maybe more than one. There's a few good fights there.
I don't think he's just going to get the winner of Bivol Beterbiev. I think he's going to have to fight one of our British boys.
Do you think he beats Gvozdyk? Because Gvozdyk is rated number 5 on this.
Gvozdyk is a weird character because, he beat Adonis Stevenson back in 2018 when he was called Superman. He was knocking out everyone. And then he had a fight in 2019 against Ngambu. And then he got beat by Beterbiev in 2019. And then you didn't see him till 2023.
Beterbiev effect.
In a 6-rounder.
Because I think losing to Beterbiev was really... because it was actually quite close. Because there's if you look at the cards...
Yeah, but
4
years
basically
out.
One was nearly even. And one judge had it for one and one judge had it for the other. Basically the similar score. So it was like a split card. And I've seen the fight. It was really, really good. Really close.
Yeah, but
Beterbiev just has the power, extra power.
To have 4 years off, he's come back and he's had 3 fights since he's come back.
Yeah, they just
none of them have been 12-rounders.
And his age as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're not 12-rounders. He's had a 6-rounder, a 10-rounder, and an 8-rounder.
So do you think he's just fodder for this?
Yeah. Again, I do, and I don't like it. I don't.
I think he's a good test at light heavyweight for Benavidez to see, are you really a good light heavyweight? Because he's a good fighter. Before Beterbiev, he was a really good fighter.
I mean, his last fight was against Isaac Rodriguez, who was some Brazilian that I'd never heard of.
Mm.
I just know I don't... To have a 6... And he's been having 6-rounders.
Yeah, but I think this is just his age and he's come back. He had the 2 years off, isn't it? Or more than 2 years. I think he had about 3 or 4 years off after his loss. Because I think he was... Yeah, that was in 2019 and then he hasn't really got back till 2023.
Where's he in the rankings?
5.
Is he?
On BoxRec, he's 5.
Jesus.
He's a very, very good fighter. Like I said before,
wouldn't have had him.
If I was rating them when at the time that they had those fights, obviously Bivol and Beterbiev would be the first. I think he was the next in that rank, and he was in the same conversation.
Don't get me wrong.
He had one of the belts before Beterbiev took it off him and unified.
Don't get me wrong. I mean,
that was a close fight.
Moving up in weight, yeah, you want to test yourself out.
Well, like all of these are giving we've seen Beterbiev's last few fights, and they go, no, it's close and that. Gvozdyk gave a better fight than any of them.
He did, but
because he's more technical boxer, and I think he's from that Ukrainian school of Brinchik, him, Usyk, and Lomachenko.
yeah, I
They're from
understand
that one where
he's from there, but
they're a really good amateur
I
pedigree.
feel like I'm having a go at him. I'm not. I just think it's a.
You just haven't seen enough of him.
No, it's not. I just think
it's what he's got left. I'm
a-
not sure he's got that much left in him.
yeah, but for Benavidez, who's this next big superstar, can beat
Benavidez
anyone.
needs to blow him away, but I'm not sure that it's going to be that easy.
Yeah,
I think Benavidez will probably win, but it's going to be close.
Again, I just like we
Because
said.
the age, and I don't think Gvozdyk's got what he had before. I think once they lost to Beterbiev, it's taken it. Well, he said himself, it's taken it out of him. And because of his age, I don't think it was one where you want to carry on. Because, of that lot, they all want to be world champions. They all were world champions. That ranking of Ukrainians was really elite boxers.
No, I think this is.
It's a good warm-up fight for Benavidez, but I think it will be a good test. I don't think it's going to be as easy a one-sided fight.
I think this is the promoters again. It's Amazon Prime. They need the numbers. Let's get our top boys out, which are Benavidez, Tank, and they're just picking half decent opponents, in my opinion.
Well, I think both Martin and Gvozdyk are better than half decent. They're decent opponents. And like I said, he's a world champion, former light heavyweight world champion.
To beat Adonis Stevenson when he did, but again, that was what, 2018, six years ago.
The problem with it, though, if Gvozdyk was in his prime, I'd have money on Gvozdyk to beat Benavidez.
But is Gvozdyk like who did Opataya fight recently? What's his name?
Yeah, Maris Bridis. He's got the last.
Is he like a Maris Bridis?
His chin isn't as good as Maris Bridis.
And the Ukrainians are firing on all cylinders at the minute, aren't they?
Well, like I said to you,
He's got 3 world champions, haven't he?
Well, in that stable of uber elite ones that were trained by Papachenko, Papachenko being Lomachenko's father, there's Brinchik was the light heavyweight one. There's Gvozdyk was Brinchik was lightweight, isn't it? There's Loma was less, but then obviously he's gone up to lightweight. There was Gvozdyk and there's Usyk. So I've watched, Brinchik is the one I watched less, but I watched all these. I watched a few fights of Gvozdyk when he was in that light heavyweight thing until obviously he stopped after the loss to Beterbiev. But that was a close fight. That's the closest I've seen anybody with Beterbiev. And I think the only person who gives Beterbiev more, I think Bivol and Beterbiev are both better than Gvozdyk. But after that, in his prime, he's the third best of that list, including all the British ones. I think he's better than Callum Smith. He's better than Boatsi.
No, don't get me. I'm not saying he's not.
He's better than Yard, Ramirez.
I'm not saying he's not a good boxer. He is. But I'm just thinking
But I don't know now what he's got left because that's
for a guy
timeout. He hasn't been busy, like you said. He's only had 6 rounds. Yeah.
For a guy of Benavidez' stature...
I've got to support somebody you're just
no,
on a wall.
It's not that. It's for a guy of Benavidez...
Benavidez has to win.
He's talking about fighting the Canelos and everything. He should be fighting a bigger star, in my eyes.
The problem is he hasn't been able to get those fights because I think people have been avoiding,
fault.
isn't it?
No,
yeah. Well, whoever's fault
pay
it is.
the money.
They've. Well, he's not as big a name as the people he wants to fight, is he? In Canelo versus him, Canelo's the bigger name. In this division, if somebody's stepping up, are you gonna get in with Beterbiev and Bivol? Because the fight we want to see is Beterbiev and Bivol, and after that, and I think there's a huge gap between them two and everybody else. But this guy was in that third position when they were all, when he was in his prime. So.
See, again, this is another one where I was thinking the other day.
I think it could be like a Maris, and I'm hoping, maybe this is like just me hoping, it's like a Maris Bridis performance against Opataya. I think Benavidez wins, but I think it's a lot closer. It's going to be a lot more of a fight than people think it is.
I was thinking...
But the age, I think, will catch up with Gvozdyk.
Yeah, because he hasn't done 12 rounds. He's been in 6-round fights.
For 4 years, 5 years.
He's been in 6-rounders. I was just thinking, is this a way, if he blows him away comfortably, is it their way?
You mean Benavidez blows him away?
Yeah, is this their way of getting a call from the Saudis of, right?
Well, I think if he beats Gvozdyk, I think that's a big statement. Like if he blows him away, knocks him out in a few rounds.
Is it though?
Yeah.
For a boxing purist, yeah. For your everyday fan, is it?
who doesn't know who Gvozdyk is? Well, if they've known boxing for more than about 4 or 5 years, they'll know who Gvozdyk is.
Yeah, but is it a big statement if he knocks him out?
Yeah. I think so.
See, I don't think it is. As a boxing
I
purist,
think if he beats him, it's a big statement. But
Yeah,
I think
yeah, as a
depending,
boxing
like
purist.
if it's how many rounds, yeah. I mean, but like,
for your everyday fan, it's not a big statement.
yeah.
I
I think if you're a Benavidez fan and you're a boxing purist, it's a big statement.
Yeah.
I think for other people, maybe not.
No,
but
'cause
then
they
they're going to be
wouldn't have
following
heard of him.
Benavidez. They're going to be expecting Benavidez to win.
Yeah, and they wouldn't have heard of Gvozdyk.
Gvozdyk, yeah.
They really wouldn't have. I guarantee. You going?
Well, let me give you some info. He's in the same stable as Usyk, Lomachenko, and Berinchik, who
I
three of
get
them are
that,
world champions.
but I don't know.
Do you think Benavidez beats either Beterbiev or Bivol?
Can I be dead on?
Obviously, allowing for Beterbiev is even older than Gvozdyk, so I think, isn't it? Beterbiev is 38 or 37, 38. Bivol obviously is closer in age.
We're going
Or is Benavidez going to be like, once they've done, presumably going to, yeah, I think if Beterbiev wins, he's probably retired and not moving. Bivol, if he wins, obviously he's still got time, so he could have those fights. Do you think Benavidez beats either of them? As obviously, we don't even know what he looks like a light heavyweight. We'll find out. I don't think he beats either of them.
I don't think he beats Gvozdyk.
You don't think he beats Gvozdyk?
No. it's well, I don't. I just think I don't think he does beat Gvozdyk.
Yeah.
If it was that's blown your mind, hasn't it? Because I've just been
you just confused me. You set me up for that. You loaded it all one way. Well, this is my opinion. If Gvozdyk in his prime, I think beats Benavidez at light heavyweight.
I think this is going to
because I don't think you can bully in size because it's the same size player, and I think a lot of the Benavidez fights have been bullying in size. Now, being fair to Benavidez, he may have more in his locker that he hasn't shown yet. And this may be more a comfortable weight for him than super middleweight, and most of people say he's a weight bully. You're not going to be in this size because you're up against people who are equally sized. But I don't know what Gvozdyk's got left because I haven't seen him box since after.
I mean, I
then,
get that.
and he's aged like, that's 2019. What are you, 5 years now? So from being in his prime, he's gone to 37.
What I've been trying to get at is, I think to move for Benavidez, I think he needed a Starlight name.
Oh, this isn't
and
at this moment in time, this isn't a Starlight name.
And
but this is the same. I think you said for Tank.
I think
Martin.
you've been screaming about Canelo. I think you should be fighting a Starlight name. I think,
but it's his first fight. Light
I get that. Joe Kawasaki's first fight at light heavyweight. Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah, but that's Kawasaki already had the name, isn't it? He was already.
I think.
Because you got to remember, Benavidez hasn't been a world champion yet, has he?
I think they've made a mistake.
Okay, go on. Explain.
Picking Gvozdyk. I think they've made a mistake. I think he's a slight name. I get you're saying it, but
I agree with you. He's not a name now.
Yeah,
he was a name.
It'll get good numbers. Oh, this is the guy that beat Adonis Stevenson. Because I'm not being funny, that is massive.
Well,
back
just
in the
to interject,
day.
I agree with you because this is Benavidez and Tanks. Really, nobody's going to buy. Not that many people are going to buy because of Gvozdyk.
No,
or Frank. Well,
no.
Frank Martin maybe a little bit, but not really.
No.
The numbers are going. Tickets are going to sell. The pay-per-views on Benavidez and Tank. Go on and carry on.
But I just think they've made a massive mistake picking Gvozdyk. Well, I hate to use it, but the Ukrainians are on absolute form.
You think he's going to win?
They are on absolute form, and that team meant. Yeah, it's boxing's an individual sport, but when you see your fellow countrymen doing well,
all
they
close.
are quite.
Like I said, they were the Olympic.
That gives you an extra 10-20%. Could you imagine 4 Ukrainians
world champions?
Champions. Because to tell you what, Gvozdyk beats him. He's getting a phone call from the Saudi. I tell you what, you've got to win a Beterbiev or Bivol, because he did do himself well against Beterbiev.
Well, I'll just interject. I think if he wins that, then you've got to have, like, who did I mention? Well, depending on what Callum Smith wants to do, or Joshua Boazzi, I think that'd be the fight that they step up to. Because that's if he beats Benavidez, which is possible. If it's the old Gvozdyk, it's definitely possible. It's how much is left. By old, I don't mean his age. I mean what he was in his prime.
Yeah, that's my only worry is
But I think the next fight, then, it'd be a big call. And you've got, I think, one of the Boatsy, Smith and Yard, that'd be a fight.
Obviously, the better Biev.
And it's a good fight for both sides.
Obviously, the better Biev fight Hurt.
And then they can have that. Oh, yeah, the better Biev. I think it destroyed him mentally.
But like I say...
But better Biev can do better.
Yeah, but the Ukrainians are flying at the minute. They really are.
If he's in his prime, like I said, I would have him as third after Bivol and Beterbiev. I think he's that good. Well, he was that good. But like I don't know in the last 4 years, 5 years if he's in it. Because he's only started training later.
This is why I just think it's a bad.
It's a huge. Well, but yeah, from that point of view, from a boxing neutral, it's a good. But because it's a big, huge banana skin,
it sounds
it
like
might not be the best step for his career.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm contradicting myself. Saying
like pooping on him.
But I think for Benavidez he needed a star-like name, and I think they've chose Gvozdyk. But I think they've made a mistake picking Gvozdyk. I genuinely really do.
Who do you think they should have picked? Because you weren't going to get Bivol and Beterbiev in your first fight. So one of the British lot.
Yeah, I think like an Anthony Yard.
Yeah.
But
that's a dangerous fight. Yard can punch, and he showed even against Beterbiev. He's a good.
Yeah, but I'd say he's a bigger name.
He's lower ranked on this thing.
I'd say he's a bigger name than Gvozdyk, though.
He's more relevant now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tight, that light heavyweight division, though. Like I say, it's stacked but tight. But in all honesty, yeah, I'd like to. Callum Smith wouldn't. I don't know. I think Callum Smith would have relished at that chance actually as well.
If it was me, I wouldn't go Callum Smith first. I think second fight maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a dangerous fight.
maybe.
But so is Yard. I think both of them.
Maybe
are
I'm not
fights.
giving him the credit because he is moving up in weight.
I would have one where it is, and Gvozdyk I think is a good test, but I think Gvozdyk is way past his prime. Now I may be wrong, and if I would love it if we get a Marius Briedis level performance, and then I think it's an extremely dangerous fight for Benavidez. And that's coming back to it. I think that's why it would be a good statement. If he beats him, I think it's good, depending on what version of Gvozdyk is there, what it's left in the tank.
Do you rate Benavidez?
Yeah, he's a good fighter. It's like I said, I feel a bit sorry because you've got Canelo at that weight at super middleweight, and then in light heavyweight you've got Bivol and Beterbiev, and I feel sorry for like a lot of them, like a Callum Smith. That we've said it when his fight was there. Callum Smith is a world title level fighter. He has won, but you're just in divisions where you're against.
You see, he can't be hurt, Benavidez.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's going to be. He's going to be his weight bullying against this lot because all of them are just as. They're going to have height, reach, and
Was it
the natural size.
Gabriel had him down, didn't he, in their first fight? So he can be hurt. He can go down. Someone like Gvozdyk, they carry that raw power.
He's a proper light heavyweight. He's a big guy, light heavyweight. He can fight that. But he's only lost to Beterbiev. All right, some of the latter three fights don't really count, but his fights before that are quite good.
Yeah.
And usually clear, knockdown. Even if it's points, it's like a clear points win. And even like I said in Beterbiev, it was a half and half on the judges' cards. Other than he got his 3 knockdowns in the 10th round, which Beterbiev just wore him out. I think both mentally and physically, because just the way he is.
For Benavidez, I do feel a bit sorry for him. But I think he could have...
And from that point of view, I think it's coming back to it. I think it's a potential banana skin. I think it's a brave choice. I think it's a good fight. But it is the young lion versus the old lion, and then if he's going to step up, you've got to show that you are, like Opetay did against Briedis.
Do you think he stepped up because of weight, or just because he's not getting a world title at super middle?
I think a bit of both. I think if you'd got a world title shot at super middle, or would have got to fight the Canelo, you'd have stayed at super middle. Or if there were the titles to collect, I think he stepped up because, one, he is a big guy. I think he is more a light heavyweight than a super middleweight. Yeah. And also chased go after titles. But again, it's the same sort of thing. You're going to be up against... But although he might get the fights here, I think, like you said, you've got to fight the best if you want to be the best. I mean, if he beats if he beats Gvozdyk, then he beats one of the other light heavyweights, and then he can beat Bivol or Beterbiev, then you're in the top pound for pound ratings, because that's a huge achievement. Even if Beterbiev's like 60 by that time.
Possibly.
Because you are fighting, I have like Beterbiev and Bivol as my 4th and 5th in pound for pound, above Canelo. And like I would have, in that after the top 3 guys, which, are Aruba faves, Usyk, Crawford, and Inoue, I think the next like group is Bivol, Beterbiev, and Canelo. So there's the 3 of them, and I think that's why I said I feel a bit sorry, because he's stuck with them, because he's got him a 1 division, Canelo, and then you got Bivol and Beterbiev at the top.
Yeah, but
although that's going to be called out, because there'll be one of them as the unified, undisputed champion.
I just think maybe if he does make...
But you've got to beat them. If you're going to show that you are the best, you've got to fight
the thing
people.
is you could get the chance if you start making a name for yourself, obviously with the Saudis involved now. And I think with...
Well, I think in any way, if he does a good fight against Gvozdyk, it's a good fight, but he beats him, even if he just beats him, but I think if he beats him reasonably comfortably, I think if he beats him too comfortably, they're just going to say, Gvozdyk's past it. I think it needs to be a bit of a fight, but if he can overcome it, I think he's a light heavyweight. Then you've got like that list. I think you pick one of the British ones and have a fight. Boatsy, Smith, or Yard. I think any of them, or maybe one of the others. And if you can beat them convincingly, then you're in that conversation. You should be in the line to have a fight against.
Do you think the Americans are going to struggle?
No, because I think they've got enough of an audience and enough money there to do. But they do need to change. If they carried on as they were, I think, I think the boxing moves on.
Because I just get the feeling they are getting left behind.
Well, I think they made a little bit of an effort, because which one did we watch? I said the card on there was really good, the fight that we've had before. And I think this is an attempt to do that as well. So I think they've either got to evolve or they're going to die, basically. I think you have to. The boxing world has evolved, and I think it's for the better.
See, the thing is that the likes of that is you could find a lot of fighters will go fight by fight contract.
Yeah.
So they can jump ship. Because some people, if Benavidez, say, jumps over to Queensbury or Matchroom, I think he gets bigger fights quicker.
Well, they say it for a few, isn't it? With
so that's why I'm a little bit worried about American boxers at the moment.
Well, I think some of them will come on board, and Al Heyman's on board, and Al Heyman, is it? The old guy.
Bob Arum.
Bob Arum is on board.
He is and he isn't.
Yeah, he still keeps to himself. His comments, the last one, were a bit of a joke. But
De La Hoya.
De La Hoya is the one who is sticking.
He's just lost the plot, he has.
But I think they have to evolve and have to make the fights. The thing is this, I don't mind where it is, as long as people start making the fights.
Yeah.
We have on our side, because Eddie and Frank have got together, they're starting to make the matches. The Saudis have obviously done it, and they're touting out some really ridiculous matches. And they're going to do their thing in August under the Crawford fights. So
yeah, but what they're doing is they're not just making, like the 5v5, for instance.
Let me ask a question, leading up probably what you can say. Do you think they're just making the fights for the money, like a promotion, or is there actually like a bit of Turkey Al Sheikh, who is a boxing fan? He's trying to make the fights that boxing fans want to see, as well as the promotion.
No, they are making 50.
Because a lot of the US ones seem to be just about money.
No, they are making 50-50 fights.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's from a boxing fan's point of view.
You look
rather
at that,
than just about make purely about the money.
Don't get me. Yeah, it is about the money, but you look at the 5v5, for instance. They were all 50-50 fights.
Yeah. Well, see the amount of shocks.
If you look at Eddie Hearn, the boxers he's got in his roster that weren't in the 5v5, because they wanted to make him competitive 50-50 fights.
Well, we're usually
same
quite
with
good
six-
between us on
yeah.
picking the fights, and we were even miles off.
So they were 50-55, and I think that's what they're doing, is they're not just making, right, AJ's going to be fighting such and such. They've got to be, and I think that's where Sergey Al-Sheikh comes in, is he's saying, no, they've got to be 50-50 fights.
Well, the thing I like is you're getting these, like, where they would have been lesser known fighters, but they're good fighters.
Yeah.
An opportunity to showcase their skills.
and
we like Ball.
Yeah.
We like the others,
But it was,
which were fantastic fighters.
It was a 50-50 fight, and
Yeah.
that's what they're making, is 50-50 fights.
Yeah.
And I think that's what... And it's like, right, don't care about your own. Don't care if you lose. You've still got a chance. Even if you lose, you can come back.
Yeah, it's about the performance.
Apart from Deontay Wilder. But
yeah, but I think he's still come
he
back.
still
He's got his
had
second
a chance.
Yeah.
Zhilei Zhang
Yeah.
got beat by Parker.
But he's bounced back.
So this is where Benavidez and Gvozdyk and Tank
I think
Davis, the
Gvozdyk knows he's at
Americans.
the end of the career,
Yeah.
but it's it's good to see him back, but we don't know like I said, I don't know what version of it is, although he's won his last 3 years, but there were really no names. This would be a good fight, because if Gvozdyk wins, this is an interesting fight.
Have an all-Ukrainian show.
Yeah. Well, nearly. We need one more of them to step up. We could have a 5v5 of the Ukrainian. Well, they're saying, isn't it? I've seen a thing where where's the best boxers? Ukraine, UK.
You wouldn't bet against him, would you?
Well, yeah. He's probably the one we don't know about. But if he beats Benavidez, then he's right back in the conversation.
You would not bet against him. But no,
the shame is that they're all they're all at the 37, 38-year-old age, isn't it?
But it's tough. It's a tough fight. Getting back to the fight, it's a tough fight for both of them, I think. And for one of them,
I give kudos for Benavidez for picking a tough fight for his team forever, because he's not like ducking and thinking, isn't it? I think it's potentially a really, really tough fight. And like you said, it could be a huge banana skin. But I think if he wins it, he's well established. It's not like just a normal warm-up. Depending on how he wins, and there was stuff as well, but where he is in that light heavyweight ranking, but it's a proper light heavyweight. For your first light heavyweight fight is a good step up.
Who are you going for?
I think Benavidez is going to win on points.
Points?
Mm-hmm. Go and write it down. So we've got it.
Wow.
And I think it's going to be quite a close fight, but I think Benavidez will just shade it by a few rounds.
I think Gvozdyk knocks him out in the 11th.
Good. I like it. Love to see it. I'd love to see your prediction more than mine, to be honest. I used to be a huge, because he hasn't fought, but I was a big, huge Gvozdyk fan, so I was like all of those Ukrainian
It sounds
stable.
like I proper, at the start of this, ripped him, and maybe I haven't come across with what I was trying to say. I just think, because I do genuinely think he's going to win, but I'd like to have seen Benavidez with a bigger name. But I've got to take into account it is his first move up to light heavyweight. And
well, if he was fighting a bigger name, this would be the main fight, isn't it?
Yeah,
this is his second
possibly.
fight on the card. I think it's just to keep himself... Well, they've got to give Benavidez... He's trying to keep himself busy.
And
I like the fact that he stepped up.
It's good that they've got two big names on the card. And so, yeah, it'll be good. It'll be an interest. And you know what? Tank Davis, Frank Martin, Benavidez, Gvozdyk. It's going to be a shock in one of these, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like the card. I think it's, if you're charging pay-per-view, you've at least got, fights on there that make it. And some of the others are, up-and-coming fighters, you got to give pros. So there should be some good fights, because it's like, I think for the amount they charge on pay-per-view now, you can't just have one fight and then Tank Davis knocks him out in one round or whatever happens. You've got to have, I think, and that's the other thing I think the Saudis have done good, is filling up the card with making it worthwhile. So it's not like £25 or $75 or whatever it is for one. It's, if you spread it out and you get 5 really good fights or 10 really good fights or 7 or whatever it is, to build it up to the final one, it's a good a build-up. Because this could be like Upper Tired and Breeders, it could be huge. That was epic. As the warm-up to Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk, and I'm hoping it is. So,
We shall see.
Yeah. And I'm hoping Tank Davis's fight and he makes that. Then I think Amazon would be very happy.
So they'd be
ecstatic.
Yeah.
And then we can't complain. They've made it, a really good matchup. So yeah, okay. Should we just? So I'm saying Benavidez by points.
Benavidez
by a few
points.
rounds,
I'm
and you're saying
saying
Gvozdyk by
11th
KO.
round KO.
Okay.
Bish bash
I
bosh.
like it. I love it.
It's done.
Simon, that's the best prediction you've ever made, I think.
And if it comes true,
Yeah, it's the best prediction you ever made.
you can buy breakfast next time.
I will do. Don't worry. I'd love to see it. Like I said. Okay. Yeah. Let us know what you think.
Am I totally bananas thinking that? Let me know.
I think you may get some comments. I hope so. Yeah, let us know in the comments what you think. This fight is on the 15th of June as well at the MGM Grand. It's the undercard, before the Tank Davis and Frank Martin fight, which we have a video on as well, so watch that. And yeah, let us know what you think. Do you think Gvozdyk is going to be the old line, has got that old magic in him, the Ukrainian magic, or do you think Benavidez as the young lion has got the vigor of youth? And he's going to step up and make a statement. Yeah, can't wait to see it. And thank you very much for listening, watching, like, subscribe, comment, all the usual goodness. And we'll see you in the next video.
Thank
you.